Who the hell is Jacqueline Onassis?
FlynnsArcade.
Hi, this is FlynnsArcade, and this is my video about Sheila, aka Mrs The Monarch, aka Dr. Girlfriend, aka Councilwoman, aka Charlene. Before I start, please could you do me a solid and give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And now, let's go. Sheila is one of the best loved characters throughout the Venture Bros, but how well do you remember her? In this video, I'm going to do a deep dive into her character story with special reference to the various iconic outfits she wore throughout the run of the show. In one way or another, all the characters in the Venture Bros undergo a self-improvement arc, with the possible exception of Sheila. She's always brilliant from the word go. The world around her can't see that at first, but as the show goes on, she is increasingly recognised for her brains, beauty and level-headed personality. So join me in my video essay where I discuss Sheila, the fashion icon. Origin story. Sheila's design is based on Jackie Kennedy, the former US First Lady, who was famed for her sense of style and her deep Long Island accent. But being the Venture Bros, her features were cranked up to 11, and Jackie Kennedy's rather posh Long Island accent was taken down a notch and made a lot more working class by the character, making Sheila quite the people's princess. Funnily enough, Jackie Kennedy actually exists in universe.
Jonas, help!
Don't you know a faint when you see one? Kidnapping the former First Lady was all but a distraction for my real target.
Jonas Venture attended her wedding, but any similarities between Sheila and the former First Lady are purely incidental. It's even lampshaded in the series.
Who the hell is Jacqueline Onassis?
Sheila didn't know anything about her, so she can't be accused of simply jacking her look. In the pilot episode of the Venture Bros, the smart suit and the deep voice is all there. However, Dr. Girlfriend, as she was then known, looks rather different to how we came to know her during the run of the main series. The smart suit's there, so's the deep voice, but she looks rather angular. However, when the show's storyboard artist, Doug Lovelace, started to draw her, his natural drawing style was to draw women in a rather curvaceous and sexy way. This caused Doc Hammer to start seeing Sheila as quite differently as he initially envisioned her, so he started writing her as a sexy, attractive woman, which influenced a lot of Sheila's plot lines. In this video, I'm going to talk about Sheila's various fashion choices and how they reflect her story arc. Early years. During her days at university, she was seduced to the dark side by Phantom Limb, and prior to her becoming a supervillain, we see her dressed as a rather glamorous, but still ordinary civilian. Failure. But her next life phase was a stint as a supervillain in her own right. Lady Oare. She wore a nanny-themed outfit and looked very much like Mary Poppins.
Welcome to the Citadel of Attribution. My name is Watch. I will be the only human face you will see, speak to, and enjoy.
Okay.
So that's Lady Oare. Dude, get out of here. She's not supposed to see anybody but me.
She bombed as Lady Oare. I like to think she failed as a supervillain because of her level-headed nature. She isn't like the Monarch, who's just generally obsessed, usually with Dr. Venture and sometimes with her. And Phantom Limb is also obsessed, but mostly for financial reasons. She just isn't like that, so I'm not really surprised she didn't do so well as Lady Oare. And not only that, Lady Oare wasn't really her normal style. She was quite dowdy. She looked a lot like Mary Poppins, and I don't think Sheila really had an opportunity to come into her own when she was playing this role. For her next role, she was eager to find a job that played off her scientific abilities rather than her sexuality.
Very sexy costume with this option.
I was thinking of something that plays off my abilities more than my sexuality.
Say no more. You want a number 2 for a woman, the feminist type.
But this wasn't to be. She was recruited by Phantom Limb to be Queen Etheria. She looked like a combination of Saffron from Republica and Lilu from The Fifth Element, and she bemoaned being treated like arm candy.
You gotta stand around in this skimpy outfit and...
Look amazing. I can't believe he treats you like that. I mean, you are like the most capable villain in his whole room.
What do you think?
Oh, I know. Let's say we, step outside, huh?
And wanted a role where she got to use her abilities, so she left him for the person who would become the love of her life, the Monarch. Dr. Girlfriend. The Dr. Girlfriend character was initially supposed to be a serial monogamist, a professional number 2 who dated several supervillains and assisted them in their dastardly roles. Her pink Chanel suit would enable her to switch roles and still have her own strong personal identity. However, this storyline was rapidly abandoned when Jackson and Doc saw the natural chemistry she had with the Monarch. However, their relationship didn't initially go particularly well. Back in season 1, it was fraught with problems.
What?
Get Baron Underbite on the phone!
Why? What's
Just
going
do
on?
it, woman! Man.
Do it yourself, Mr. Big Pants.
Fine. Wait a minute! How do I get in? Outside line.
But it did lead to one of her short-lived alter egos, Charlene, who was responsible for one of the many unrequited crushes that Dr. Girlfriends would acquire during the run of the Venture Bros. And this was, of course, Dr. Venture.
You dog, you.
That's it, precious. Make him think you're interested. Now, twirl your hair. Good. Okay, run your finger around the rim of your... Oh, excellent. Just like that. Oh, you're doing great, Pumpkin.
So I didn't catch your name.
Oh, crap! We never planned for this contingency. Quick, make something up!
Eventually, the problems between Sheila and the Monarch reached a boiling point with the release of the tawdry memoir about the Monarch's life story.
Then who haven't you slept with? I'm sure that's a shorter list.
You are insane.
I'm insane. I'm insane. Look at these. There's a picture of you in Monstroso's lap.
That was a party. And look at his lap. It's huge. There's like 5 of us on it.
Yeah, right. And here's one of you skinny dipping with Jim Fetus.
Let me see that. I don't remember.
And there's a whole collage of you in Phantom Limb.
All right, fine. I used to work for him. So what?
Holy crap! Look at your costume!
And he kicked her out into the rain, thus ruining her iconic Chanel suit.
Good gracious, what happened to you?
It's a long story. Can I come in?
Of course, of course.
She ran away to stay with Phantom Limb, and this led to the return of her Queen Etheria and briefly her Lady Au Pair personas. The Monarch quickly realised what he had lost, and with the help of Henry Killinger, the pair were reunited, leading to her next incarnation. Dr. Mrs. The Monarch. Dr. Mrs. The Monarch is potentially Sheila's most iconic look. It's certainly the outfit that a lot of cosplayers choose to copy. In the art book, Jackson and Doc discuss the thought process they had when designing her iconic outfit. They already knew people were going to cosplay as her. Originally, her design had a yellow leotard and black boots, which Doc said would be very easy to source from American Apparel. But the pair decided to switch the colours around so that her leotard became black and her boots became yellow. As we know, yellow boots are very difficult to get hold of, and the pair wanted to give cosplayers a real challenge when sourcing the outfit. Sheila went on to wear several different outfits in the black and yellow colour scheme, including formal wear for Hank and Dean's prom.
We swing! I watched my wife suck Manta Claus dry and then make him breakfast.
Is that true? Eggs and buttered toast.
But the most memorable example is the black and yellow cheerleader's outfit, which she initially acquired for sex purposes. But it was later put to brilliant use when she performed her routine to cheer up Gary.
Aw, G-A-R-Y. You ain't got no alibi. You're Gary. What? You're Gary.
Okay, I have not seen that ever.
who winds up becoming yet another of the unrequited crushes that populate her story arc. Her new look and increasingly prominent reputation brought her clout within the guild, and this was recognised with her gaining the cover of Modern Enemy Monthly, and this really raised her profile. But it wasn't just her beauty that was being recognised. Her level-headed personality and extensive knowledge of guild lore had also been noticed.
The team's right to arch supersedes that of the primary. Just study this for the council exam.
But not without offering the primary arch first right of refusal to participate in and/or lead said team up.
She's right.
And this led to her next incarnation, Councilwoman.
We've had about 50 unpaid tickets on the thing, so the NYPD towed it.
So that's it then?
Yeah, that's it. You just go down to the impound, pay the fine, drive it home. Once again, the guild wishes to express its most sincere... Are you okay?
Sheila was very proud to take up the role on the Council of 13. Initially, she was just part of a team with other supervillains charged with running the guild. However, after the events of All This and Gargantua 2, the guild was almost destroyed, and the Council of 13's numbers were vastly reduced. They'd also lost the sovereign who'd been running the guild. However, Sheila did not shy away from the challenge of rebuilding her organisation. She did an excellent job of running things. She took great efforts to reform the guild and run it in a more democratic and transparent way. During this period, she power dressed in a black coat and an iconic black hat. Finally, we could see she was really a woman to be reckoned with. That was mostly her look throughout the final seasons of the Venture Bros. However, her appearance did change once, even though it wasn't really her. It was a fantasy on the part of Dr. Venture, because the OSI were trying to intimidate him into giving up his secrets of his teleporter, and he has a fantasy of an eyes wide shut sequence, and that features Dr. Girlfriend or Sheila or Councilwoman or Dr. Mrs The Monarch dressed in a, well, if you can even call it dressed, attired in a very skimpy and sexy outfit again.
Having a good time.
Well, apparently I just ate part of a small child and then washed it down with penis, so...
Hey, if that's what you're into.
What? No! Actually, I'm a little lost. Are you a member of this,
Pseudo-religious capitalist crony club? God, no. Just an anonymous working girl here to service the masters of the universe.
It's worth mentioning, but it wasn't really her. But it was relevant because he was still pining for his long-lost love of Charlene. Final form. In Radiant is the blood of the baboon heart. Sheila is rudely awakened in the middle of the night. She was under arrest after being framed for a serious crime, which she didn't commit. It was actually committed by the big bad of the film, Debbie, aka Mantilla.
Oh my god! Debbie?
Because the arrest happens in the middle of the night, Sheila got out of bed and she's still wearing her incredibly sexy pink baby doll nightie under her councilwoman's coat. And this leads to one of the most iconic scenes in the movie, when Sheila escapes down the river, riding Daisy the horse and wearing her pink nightie. She's going to be sexy to the end, and it was beautiful to see that as her final form, a powerful woman who's still incredibly sexy. We then go on to learn that all of Mantilla's dastardly deeds are fueled by a desire to spend more time with Sheila. So Debbie is the final person in the long line of characters, including Dr. Venture and Gary, who've held a candle for this deeply special woman. So this is the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making this because it was really nice to spend a bit of time just thinking about the icon that is Sheila. She's loved by everyone on the show, with the possible exception of Brock, who actually warmed to her towards the end of the saga. But she's also really loved by the fans. In my whole time of being into the Venture Bros, I've never seen anyone say anything remotely negative about her. She really is deeply loved, and it's unsurprising because she is the most decent person on the show. with the possible exception of Hank. She's just an all-round great person, and it was a real joy to go over her iconic looks because she is so stylish, and she has been, she's potentially the most well-known character outside of the normal fan base because she has been so popular amongst cosplayers, and so, you know, her legacy, I'm sure, will live on for many years to come. Whilst researching this video, I did start to wonder, why would somebody so nice and so good and so kind and so sensible get involved with the guild in the first place? She certainly doesn't seem to be the sort of person that you'd expect running an organisation of supervillains, and so in a way it could be seen as a bit of a failure arc that somebody so decent ended up being involved with a shadowy organisation. But ultimately a lot of this revolves around the Monarch, and she really did love him, so it's a wholesome and happy story ultimately. But as discussed already, she isn't just a pretty face, she's a great human being. Two things to remember when thinking about Dr. Girlfriend or Sheila or, you know, or Dr. Mrs The Monarch. She really loves the Monarch, and despite all his shenanigans and even during the difficult time when he lost all his money and the cocoon got destroyed for the final time, she stood by him. She also stood by her union, and she kept the guild going. You know, during the most dire of circumstances, she just kept things going, and so she's such a reliable person, and I think in a lot of ways she's a good example to all of us. I mean, she just embodies so many brilliant values, and it's strange to see such a brilliant character in a show that's based on failure, and it's also strange that she never got to have a self-improvement arc because everyone else did, but she didn't need to. She was always brilliant. Everyone else needed to improve to recognise just how great she is, and it was brilliant to actually see her finally getting all the respect that she more than deserved. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments your favourite memories of Sheila. Let me know the things that she did, or even especially the things that she wore, and what made you fall in love with the character. I mean, she was always pretty cool, but over the years she just became better and better and better, and at some point you must have said, wow, she really is amazing, and I really would like to be reminded of that. If you're new to this channel and you're a fan of the Venture Bros, I've made a lot of videos on this subject, so please check out my playlist, and I also intend to make more videos about them in future, so please stay tuned. Next week I'm planning on doing a similar video to this. If you don't know what to write, please could you just drop me a spanakopita or an ignore me or a go team venture, because apparently comments really help the algorithm. If you haven't already, please could you subscribe to the channel. I'm on a mission to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I really do appreciate all the help I can get whilst trying to achieve that goal. I upload videos every week, so unless anything comes up in the meantime, I'll see you next Sunday.